Are live, Louis. We are live. So, welcome everybody to Formula 2 PSGL on a Monday evening at 7 p.m. I am Lordy Boy, filling in for Owen Wyatt once again, but I'm not on my own this time. I'm joined with an ex-PSGL F1 driver, the cream of the crop, the best of the best. It's QPR Beasts, also known as Louis. So say hi, Louis.
Hi Louis. No, it's joking. It's been a while since I was the cream of the crop, Lordy, but thank you very much. It's nice to be here. Nice commentary duties tonight. It'll be a good race.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm just going to go on YouTube, get all the links shared and posted out all across the board.
In fact,
Direct
I'll
messages.
just take you on board with Green LFC as he exits the pits up to the derriere of his teammate CC Brain. Oh yeah, he moves out to the side and overtakes him going up Eau Rouge. This man, he desperately needs some points, does Green LFC. It's been a horrible season so far. A terrible, terrible run of results.
Yeah, CC Brain is a bit iffy when it comes to league racing nowadays. He's got the pace on some days, but sometimes that man's a shell of his former self, and hopefully he can look to rectify some of the shocking performances, like last time out in France when he spun it turn 1 all on his own and bottled it.
Absolutely shocking drive, shocking. You know, I remember when this man was competing for the top 4 in the F1 league, but these days, you know, that seems like a world apart from what he's operating at right now, to be honest.
He's a man of many talents, is CC Brain, a multilinguist, a talented league racer, but some of these talents are slipping away from his fingertips. You know, CC Brain on the cusp of retirement, I think, like a lot of other drivers.
The paddock rumours, Lordy, I've been hearing stuff like that recently. You know, the two McLarens, they might be taking McLaren out of the sport, and CC Brain is hit. He's hit the Force India of Ski Van up the rear.
Oh,
and Ski Van is pulled off, causing yellow flags in Sector 3. Oh dear. A bit of diffuser damage. Carbon fibre scattered across the track.
Can't be doing it up the rear, that's all I've got to say.
Absolutely not, no.
Well, we're going to go on board with Wommer, who's currently out there on the soft compound tyres in the Mercedes, the current F2 Championship leader, because all of his rivals seem to either bottle it or retire. So Wommer's has a 30-point lead, I think, at this stage of the race, as we see yellow flags in Sector 1. Probably people moving out of the way for this man, the Championship leader. If I haven't already told you all already, Louis, you know, this man is on top, you know, with the pink helmet represented. He's on fire. He's pink, the Pink Panther, round the first and second sector at the moment. Wommer in tune with the Mercedes. Can't seem to shift up to 5th gear, but he's in tune with the Mercedes.
That is fantastic. And we see the two McLarens getting in each other's way, holding each other up, coming into the second sector. It's awful. I don't know what's going on with these pairs. They've lost their heads. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'm not too sure. We are watching still on board with Wommer, I should say, as he rounds off the final couple of corners in the middle sector. This man, a man of few words actually. He's been criticised for being a yes man, a follower, a sheep. You know, just follows people around. You know, not the shepherd, could never be the shepherd, but this man, even though he's the sheep of the group, he just puts in performance after performance. Consistently brilliant, Wommer. I praised him for his miraculous masterclass of a strategy. It's France, completely different country. But we're not on about them now. We're on about Belgium. And here he comes across the line. The benchmark is a 143.2 and he sets a 143.3. Foxy Dude outclassing him at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like Wommer's performances all season have kind of been increasing in skill and talent, and he's going to be open for that again tonight. Get another win on the board, extend that championship lead over Mark SB, who's not even here. He's not even attended. What's the reason for that, Lord? Did you know?
He's retired.
He's retired. Oh my lord.
Yeah, wow. I don't think he'll be participating in F2 anymore for personal reasons, I do believe. Quote me if I'm wrong in the chat. But I don't think he'll be around anymore. Yeah, obviously, hope he's alright and all that. As Will Murdoch bins it at Blanchimont. And that's the end of his qualifying session. So, yeah.
Oh dear. Will Murdoch. Oh dear. No problems there.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems in these leagues, especially F2 with a 12 grid turnout. The second best league on the site, and there's only 12 people showing up. So it's grim. It's grim.
It looks like nothing's changed since I left then. Still the same stuff. Same scenario.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, have you got anyone on lap? I don't think they have actually.
No, just seeing a few people finish laps like Lordy-MK puts it P4 currently, but they're only banker laps. You know, these drivers can go a lot quicker than this. They have shown in previous sessions and practice sessions that I've been in with them. Lordy-MK, a man that's probably caused a lot of controversy with his moves into PSGL F2, but he seems to have flourished. He had a very good performance out in France, very consistent, was the only man to start on the soft compound. Around France, everybody else went for the mediums, and he made it work. Wow. Good old Nick, and I do believe it was 7th position, so a handful of points on his debut.
He did indeed get 7th. So tell me the background about Nick. Why is it a controversial move, Lord? What happened?
Well,
does he come from a lower league and was promoted without like pace shown?
Yeah, I don't think it's not that the pace wasn't shown. I think it's a lot of these drivers are on the cusp of these leagues as we watch Skeven come around the final 2 corners. Just going to see what lap he sets on the mediums. It's a 144.0, decent lap from him on the mediums. But no, as I was saying, this man, like you say, is on the cusp, like a lot of drivers, either on the F1, F2 cusp or on the F3, F2 cusp, and he was on the F3, F2 cusp, and Big C, I believe, made the decision to move him up, and like always, Big C's right. Did you hear that? Big C is right. Whatever that man says goes.
Absolutely. And, I think he's taken a bit of inspiration possibly from my move to F1 from F4 back in season 15, where Tejwa was not convinced. Tom Wright, that is, the previous director, but Big C, he fought for my promotion. I got promoted and I did alright. So, maybe he's taken inspiration from that, not to blow my own trumpet.
I think in some of these leagues, with the talent or lack of, I should say, I think average is speaks volumes for a lot of these drivers. They've got the potential to be better. They've got the potential to push themselves, but they're very average.
Luxury drivers, Lordy. Luxury drivers, I think that's what they're called.
Well, whatever term you want to use for the people's performances, it has to be said that these drivers have not been flourishing, apart from Wommer, because that man's been unstoppable this season. As we see Lewis crash into the pit lane.
Issues.
Yeah, not a lot, not too much to report really, Louis, out there. Some people on a few laps, but when the grid's as slim as this, then, or as thin as this, I should say, it's just.
Going on, do you?
No, I've watched Skeven for about 4 minutes, just trundling around on the meets.
I'll tell you what though, TTG Jack, he's about to finish a lap, I think, and it's pole, provisional pole.
Yeah, TTG Jack, that's actually a fantastic lap. So I have to apologise to him because I actually wasn't on board with him. So that's a really good lap from TTG Jack. So whether he's got slipstream or what, because he's never normally in the upper echelons of this league. He's normally about mid tier. So that's a very, very good performance from him. So whether he's gifting the Mercedes behind some slipstream, only unless he wants to fight one down into what's it called, La Source or whatever. Silly corner names.
Well, he's managed to out-qualify Kimi Raikkonen this weekend by 1.4 seconds, so well done to the man. He's clearly got a bit of pace in that car. For me, so I thought, yeah, brilliant.
Oh la la, that's what you want as we watch the McLaren duo of Luke Green and CC Brain slipstreaming each other, not just on the straights, but for the entire lap. So, dirty air for Luke Green as he follows Cornelius around the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps as he enters turn number 10, the fast left-hander down into 6th gear, and his lap's over already. So Luke Green can't keep the tyres on the track, and I believe he will continue, probably with a 2/10 deficit compared to a normal lap. But I think he's going to finish it anyway, so we will stay on board with the Green Meister as he enters the final sector of the lap. Louis, do you want to take us through, the long straight that's also known as Blanchevin?
Absolutely. Lou Green has just got to get his meaty leg and plonk it on that right pedal and just hope that the car sticks in the turbulence. But he's eased off. Not enough muscle power in that right calf, one would say. Hard on the brakes, and he pulls into the pits, but CC Brain is about to cross the line, and he goes P2. What a lap by CC Brain.
So CC Brain giving slipstream to the teammate, but actually outperforming the teammate without the slipstream. So CC Brain laying a marker down for everybody out there who doubted his performances. So CC Brain goes P2 with a 142.9. There's yellow flags in sector 3 and 2. I'm not going to look at it because I think it's just people going slow. So Foxy Dude is about to cross the line and goes P3 with a 143.1.
Ollie Flavel, he spammed the car. Coming towards Fania, I believe it is, and I think we might have lost a little bit of front wing.
Oh, big fan.
Absolutely, I'm a big fan.
Big Fania.
Ferraris coming out of the source. They're slipstreaming. Sam Strip on in front of LL Praga.
Yeah, let's just catch a glimpse. Oh, go on. Yeah, gear number 8 held gear number 7 up through Eau Rouge and La Source. And look at that, what a teammate Samster is. He had the pace at France. He was one of the quickest drivers out there. But like I said, bottle jumps and bottled it. Crashed in P3, lost his wing, and then retired from the race later on. So, these drivers, instead of helping out your teammate, help yourself out. I know for a fact that I, personally, am helping myself out. And that's why I'm 16th in the Formula 4 Championship. Because I'm trash. But I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about these guys. These guys are 2 tiers above me. And they're still performing like babies. So, there's a lot of talented drivers. Praga is a very nice guy. Had the pleasure of speaking to him on numerous occasions, and he is very quick. Has proved himself to be capable of the admin role as well for this league with Cornelius, and they've done a decent job apart from the last time out where we waited an hour to get the race started, but we won't go into that. But he has proved himself, so let's see what he can do here at Spa-Francorchamps as he comes to the bus stop chicane, one of the easiest corners to remember on the calendar, as he opens the DRS flap and crosses the line, and it's a horrendous lap on the soft tyres.
Yes, and Lewis 11004 has just come into the pits, but hitting his front wing on the entry, so you can see the right hand side, he has no end plate. So Cyril Abitable is going to be tearing what little hair he has out of his head, and in disgust. We'll call him Hulkenberg crashes yet again into a barrier.
I think Hulkenberg, obviously no seat confirmed yet, as we watch Praga completely cut the top of La Source. No seat as confirmed yet, but I think a Haas seat is definitely on the cards because Roman and Magnussen are fucking garbage. So, at least one of them need to be removed.
Yeah. I do agree, and the car also, the Haas car, it's a bit of an issue, it's a bit of a dog. I don't think the drive's the only issue in that team, but yeah, it's not looking good for either of them.
Yeah, I have to agree, that car has struggled since Australia, so not a lot to report really on the Haas side of things, getting a new contract with not Rich Energy, but Lightning Energy, or whatever they're called nowadays.
Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt or Volt or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever. Things on the front of
Lightning Boat, that's what it should be called, because that car is a fucking boat. Belongs in a canal. Disgusting. Anyway, Prague's about to pit, I do believe, so we won't go on board with him. Obviously on the outlaps now is Lewis, who's actually fit a set of soft compounds on. It may only be his only run of the race, of the qualifying session, but he has finally stuck on the tyre that you want to be on. And also, who else? It's Samster, but Lewis is further down the lap, so we will stay on board with Lewis.
So who's your tip for pole then, Lordy? Having seen what you've seen so far, who do you think's in the best position to capitalise?
Well, I've only seen F1 and Wommer practice around Belgium, and Wommer didn't seem too comfortable with the car earlier on in the day, so I'll tip Wommer for a top 3 on the grid. I think he's capable of that. But pole, I'm gonna go with Jack. I think Jack's done a solid lap, and he's gonna keep it. That man pulling out a 1:42.7 as we see yellow flag in sector 1 and 2 as Lewis is about to start his lap. So yeah, Louis, I'll let you go on board and take us through the fabulous Spa track.
So heading towards turn 1, I saw a lot of undulation in the car. You don't want to lock the inside brakes. It's so easy to do that. But he's had a nice run through there. Hook up the apex on the power early and head down towards Eau Rouge, the dip, and then up Radion. Flat out. He keeps the foot in beautifully, opens the DRS now down the Camel Straight. Have your leg on that throttle planted to the floor. Moving over to the left now for the Les Combes chicane. You want to take a nice late apex and then clip that second one. He's done that alright, but he hasn't really opened up the right hander there too well. But now you plunge down the hill towards the right hand hairpin. He's taken a really wide line, but he cuts it back, gets it back on track towards No Name, otherwise known as Bruxelles. Took a nice line through there. Now heading towards Pouon. Almost flat out this one is. Misses the apex a tiny bit, but he's taken it alright. The lap's been alright so far from Lewis. A hint of understeer in that Renault, you know, maybe the front wing's not been replaced still. But he's corner cut there. Oh, it's all gone it's all gone pear-shaped.
Yeah, that man's dead. Let's go on board with somebody maybe with a bit more credentials about them.
CC Brain heading towards turn 1.
No. Samster. No. Samster's nearly finished a lap. No. We'll save CC for later. He'll be the dessert. I want the main course, and the main course at the moment is Samster, and Samster looks very mighty as he finishes the second sector of the lap. Obviously the last sector of the lap is the most piss I've ever seen of any racetrack, but people still complain that it's a difficult track, Spa, even though the first and third sectors are basically 2 long straights. But anyway, he approaches the bus stop chicane. This man looking to prove his worth, helping his team out with slipstream, but he exits the bus stop chicane, a DRS flap wide open, it can't get any more open, and Samster goes P2 with a 1:42.8. And Greeny retires. Rubbish, didn't even say a lap time, rubbish. Greeny.
I must say, I think in defence of Greeny, he's been used as an object this session. Just the slipstream merchant for CC Brain, who is on a fast lap. Lordy, he's on a very fast lap. Got a huge slipstream all the way down the Kemmel Straight. And that McLaren looks hooked up. A tad of understeer, but that's not too bad at a place like Spa. But he's run wide where Lewis did. I don't think it's invalidated.
No, well, we do love a bit of CC, but there's drivers ahead, Louis. There's a lot of drivers ahead of CC. And this man, Ollie Flavel, is coming through the bus stop with Foxy Dude just behind. Ollie Flavel, currently in P9. He's all lit the rears up on the exit, and he goes P number 7. Now Foxy Dude, currently P4, stays P4. Now it's CC Brain's turn. Now it's the man's turn. The man from Germany, Eine Deutschland. Here he comes. Invalidation or not, CC Brain crosses the line, and it's P number 3. Oh, horrendous. Wommer is the next to cross the line, I do believe, and Wommer's gone completely wide. He's been disqualified. So someone's been disqualified. Lewis has been disqualified. Nick's gone 6th. Wommer, don't know if it was lag or... No, he's chipped his front wing. So Wommer's qualifying session is over. And LR Praga will be the last man to cross the line. He's 2 tenths up on his lap. He definitely needs to improve. Will he overtake Ollie Flavel? Here he comes, LR Praga. It's P8. He pips Ollie Flavel to the line. But it's still a pretty horrendous performance from that man.
Wow. T2G Jack, he dominates it. Absolutely brilliant qualifying session from that man. And well, you never know. Could he be putting in a very late fight for the title? Who knows? But he's done well And you have Samster in second, CC third with a good qualifying for a man who struggled so far this year. And Foxy, Skivan, Elarnik, Roma, Praga, Ollie, Will Murdoch, who failed to set a time after a tying early on, Greeny, who was used as a slipstream merchant for CC, and Lewis 1104, who got disqualified right at the end of the session.
Yep. 12 participants in this Grand Prix, but unfortunately we've got to have 45 minutes of this race, so hopefully it will stay dry because I want it to be over as quick as possible, and then I'll be joining Leon in the commentary box for F1 to actually, you know, I want to lick my lips at a race that is going to be worthwhile. Obviously F2 is well known for thrills and spills, and it was a fantastic outing at France, so I will keep them in high regards. These guys do know how to put on a good show, whether it's with brilliant driving or shocking driving, but to be honest, I don't really care. They can do what they want, as long as it puts on a good show for the fans. The 13 viewers, I believe we have at the moment. It's normally a bit higher, but obviously the turnout is very low, so I don't blame them.
16 now, Lordy. So, welcome to the viewers. We hope it's going to be a fantastic race for you. And we believe it is. As the lights go out for the formation lap, here we go. For the Belgian Grand Prix. So, Lordy, who do you think is going to take the win? Who's your tip? Who would I put my money on if I were a betting man?
Well, what do you want? Do you want a guaranteed victory, or do you want somebody who's maybe a bit of a wild card?
I want a big return, Lordy. I want a wild card here.
You want a wild card?
Give me your outside pick.
My outside pick is Samster. This man has always had the pace. He's always shown the pace. He's struggled early on in the seasons, but this man is always there or thereabouts, but seems to bottle it a lot. So my wild card pick for the race win would be Samster, due to his history of letting it loose as CC Brain leaves the...
Will Murdoch, he's spun. Greeny is just hurtled into a barrier. What is going on here?
We're having a restart, I believe.
Shoes. You know what? Who I'd go for the win? I'd go for Skivan or Ollie Flavel. I've raced against both of them before, and both of them can be very quick drivers on their day. So you never know.
Yeah.
One of those.
Hold on, let me just send a message to somebody, because they're more important than this league, because they keep restarting. I'm not too sure why, whether it's important or not. Probably not, but they're restarting nonetheless.
It's disappointing to see this number of restarts in an F1 online racing league, isn't it, Lordy? It really is. Especially on a site as prestigious as PlayStation Gaming League, sorry. People should have a bit more respect for the people who run it, you know.
I don't think it's a case of respect. I just think it's people being, just inconsiderate of others. To be honest, it's a racing league. There's 20 drivers on the grid, and 20 drivers need to be, present at the right times. And some drivers can't seem to fulfill this commitment to the PSGL site. So the PSGL site struggles to maintain some of these followers because people are incompetent. Obviously, I believe IRL do things very, very differently, and AOR where they don't have restarts at all. And I think that will be the case with PSGL probably next season. It is being discussed and it is in the works, and I have to profusely agree with this decision. If you unless it's a mass disconnection, which is normally either the game's fault or the lobby's crashed. So completely understand that if there was a restart, but I'm sick of petty restarts because Ollie Flavel can't turn his machine on or something like that. It's just rubbish.
I do agree, Lordy. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. Unacceptable. But what do you think? What do you think about real life F1 at the moment, Lordy? Who do you think is going to win the Monza, the Italian Grand Prix?
Straight line speed merchants Ferrari. So, Sebastian Vettel has a very good history at Monza. But I think Charles Leclerc is looking a man who is determined and on fire. So Charles Leclerc for me.
It'll be close as usual, but in qualifying, it could well be like a second between Merc and Ferrari. It could be quite disgusting, to be honest. It could be quite scary.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen in real F1. There's only one thing I do know for a fact, and that is that Bottas will finish either P3 or P4, because that man has lost all of his credentials in that Mercedes team, and they've given him another contract when somebody probably, more deserving deserves the seat. And don't sit here and say Esteban Ocon deserves the seat, because he doesn't, because he's shite as well.
Lordy, I couldn't agree more. I think someone like Daniel Ricciardo, mate. To be honest, I think Bottas is doing an alright job. He's doing an alright job as a number 2, but the only driver maybe I'd replace him with is Ricciardo. There's no one else.
I have to agree. Or stick a young gun in this hot seat like Red Bull have done with Max Verstappen and with Alex Albon, who performed a fantastic result. Would have been P6. Poor Lando Norris, obviously, didn't have a great outing due to engine failure. But he was best in the rest by an absolute mile in a McLaren round Spa, which is incredible. So stick that young man in the Mercedes as well, to be honest. He definitely deserves a seat, or Carlos, or somebody like that, some upcoming driver. I don't think any of the mature talent has earned a place in the upper echelons of F1.
I agree. You look at the Nico Hülkenbergs, the Romain Grosjeans, the Sergio Perez. They're going to be marooned, in no man's land for the rest of their careers. It's going to be quite funny, really. Stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Just Sergio Perez has to define, the term marooned. A new 3-year deal with a Racing Point team that has little investment and no clue what's going on. I
do think. So, apologies, carry on.
No, I'm very passionate about the Racing Point team because, Daddy's bank account seems to be in full fruition as Lance Stroll somehow clutches at straws to maintain an F1 seat when you've got the likes of Pascal Wehrlein on the reserve sheet. How the hell is that man not in F1? It's a yoke.
I do agree. I think we really should appeal to the European Court of Human Rights, because I feel like Sergio Perez may well be being made a slave at that team. The amount of time he's had to spend at Silverstone outfit, it's quite horrible. You can't do that to a man.
Yeah, it's one of the many mysteries of the Formula One community is Sergio Perez's place in this sport. He had his chance at McLaren and he didn't just blow it, he absolutely rinsed it. He was not very good at all. Jenson Button, people argue, yeah, he's a world champion. That man nearly got beat by Rubens Barrichello, the ultimate number 2 in a championship season. So, Jenson Button, another driver that was overrated and got very, very lucky because of a double diffuser that was actually against the rules, but they wiggled it around the rule book.
That's
what your opinions?
One, Lordy. But I don't know. I think Jenson Button is rated as high as he should be. To be honest, I think no one thinks he's God. No one thinks he's shit, and that's fair enough.
I know who thinks he's God. JP Greenwood. He can't get enough of him.
Well, some people always have to be wrong, and that makes the rest right.
People criticise Lewis Hamilton because he won't win the Nice Guy Award, but he will win 5 World Championships, and it looks to be a 6th and be in the history books for every record under the sun. But just because he doesn't have all the British followers on his side, he's classed as a Nazi, or or the derogatory terms that I will not be repeating on the stream because it would be offensive.
I do agree. Anyway, let's go back to the virtual world. Let's phase out of the real world. Let's go to this formation lap. If this doesn't start properly this time, there are going to be issues. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a pretty Yeah, hi Sophie. Yeah, not started yet. We've had another restart because F2 is actually the league that loves to restart. It just should become a trend. Oh, have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. What was he looking at? What was he even doing when that happened? I mean, I don't want to know. It's probably something quite grotesque, but... Oh dear. Yeah. The way he was undulating that steering wheel from side to side, you know, it was quite unnerving, and I thought something bad was going to happen, but that's awful.
I'm sorry. I've never seen that ever before. The F2 admin, who has declared a restart for a reason I'm unsure about, has just rammed his McLaren into the likes of Samster F1, second and third on the grid, and caused him to be disqualified from the formation lap. You just don't get this in other leagues. You just don't. Only an F2, that should be a meme. We have only an F6. What about only an F2? Because I've never seen this before, ever.
No, I haven't either. I can understand how he's done it. I can imagine how he's done it, but it's quite a surprise to see, you know, he's a good driver, but it hasn't happened from this season. It's another one of these moments that you just look at and think, what on earth has gone on in that man's head?
Yeah, Cornelius, my FP teammate, he helped me to a brilliant second position in France in FP. I do love the man personally on a personal level. He is one of my greatest friends on this side. But when you clatter into the back of somebody with so much force on a formation lap, there has to be questions and eyebrows raised.
I agree with all points raised, Lordy. Brilliant stuff. Anyway. Oh god. Here we go. Time for an absolute mess. Let's see. Hopefully not, but you never know with this league.
Also, as well, just to report, I have a lovely view of a tree.
Oh, so that was brilliant.
Anyway, Cornelius giving me a lovely view of a tree. But there's 5 red lights here for the Belgium Grand Prix. There's a Red Bull in the middle of the track. But here we go, lights out and away we go. There's issues everywhere in the lobby. TCG Jack's having a fantastic start. There's a racing point up the inside of everybody going into turn number 1. And CC Brain is not going to be challenging. But look at Samster. I said he was the wild card. I said he's got the pace. And look at him, neck and neck into Eau Rouge and La Source. Oh, not La Source. What's it called? I don't know. Oh, contact everywhere.
Oh my lord.
There's issues. Stevens off, but CC Brain's taking the lead.
CC Brain. Oh my lord.
It's fantastic going into turn number 4, and Foxy Dude's on the outside of Samster. He's going to put it. Oh, Foxy Dude's round. Foxy Dude's out of the race. Oh, Prague is it? LR-Nick's all over the shop as well. What's going on? Greeny LFC's got no wing. Oh, he's in the back of Ollie Flavel. Ollie Flavel's all over the shop. CC Brain is leading the way. No, he's not. TTG Jack is leading the way with CC Brain in second and Samster all over the gearbox of CC Brain. It's been a horror show in Formula number 2 of PSGL, and hopefully it gets even better.
I do agree, and it's an amazing start, for CC, and you've got likes of Ollie Flavel and Womo also moving up, trying to consolidate his championship challenge, and it's not bad for the first lap.
One of the scruffiest first laps I've ever seen in the history books of this league, as we watch Luke Green and Lewis go neck and neck into Blanchimont. Luke Green dead and buried. He's got no front wing. Well, he's got half a front wing, and around Spa you're going to get nowhere with that. So Luke Green, whether he stays out is going to be a mystery. But here he comes. No, he does stay out. But we're not going to continue to go on board with him, because that man is sacked. As Samster actually comes into the pit lane. So Samster must have damage. Or we check. No, he's going onto the hards.
No, it's a long stop. It's a long stop.
He's
there are issues.
Oh no!
The Ferrari mechanics have forgotten to put the wheel back on. Oh dear.
his shoes down at the Ferrari camp. Samster is done already. The hard compounds is not the tyre you want to be on around Spa. It's an easy soft to medium. There should be no issues regarding tyre wear in any sense around here. It's very, very, very easy. But Samster, I told you it's a bottom job. Pits on lap 1. Not for wing damage, but he has a 5-second stop go for whatever reason. I didn't actually catch it on the stream. But that man, his race is only unless people crash, but it's very unlikely around Spa. Now the first lap's out of the way, that man is out of this race.
Yeah, I'm just going on board with people through P1 and Will Murdoch. He seems to be very confident with the front end of the car. He's really chucking it in, and it sticks for the man, which is it's good to see as he closes down on his teammate Ollie Flavel. Will there be any team orders here? You never know. I think they're both struggling in the championship a little bit, so we'll see. Will Murdoch going into Blanchimont, going up the inside, and that looks like he's been given that position by Ollie Flavel.
Yeah, Ollie, your dark horse for this race. I'm not too sure why you picked him, but your dark horse for this race looks absolutely useless on them soft tyres as TTG Jack sets another fastest lap of the race. That man is on form. DRS is now enabled because it is lap 3 of the Grand Prix. And wait, let me actually put the tyres on, which I've forgotten to do, unfortunately. Sorry about that, everybody.
Comes Greeny LFC to replace his front wing. I thought he would enjoy dialing in the understeer that he gets for that front wing, you know, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Samster gets past Greeny in the pit lane because obviously wing damage, and Greeny just doesn't seem to be at one with the car around here. But he should keep going because there is points on offer, and points means prizes. And do you know what prize you get for finishing 10th? 1 point and an hour of your life wasted.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, it's fantastic. Just on board with Lewis, and then one of the medium runners all over the back of Ollie Flavel. So Ollie either has wing damage as he scrapes the wall at the unknown corner going into turn number 10 now. I don't know if he's got wing damage or what, but he is struggling immensely on these soft tyres. So this man really, really struggling, and Foxy Dude looks to have very, very good pace, but at the moment is stuck behind a train of everybody basically.
No, I wasn't listening at all to that, but I do agree.
Yeah, whatever you're playing in the background is echoing, by the way, through the stream, so...
Oh no, really? I'm not playing anything, so that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it's like a buzzing or something.
Oh, no. Oh well. But LR Nick is looking at LR Praga, the teammates from the same racing team, the same esports organisation, Lordy.
Yeah, just to interrupt you, as Foxy Dude makes a move at the bus stop chicane on Lewis. Lewis will challenge him down into turn 1. It was a fantastic move around the outside. Foxy Dude defends the inside line going into turn number 1 and maintains the position for now. But will he get the traction necessary? Because Lewis looks like he's got a fantastic exit. The double upshift, very, very OP on this game, just to get your foot planted down as they go through Eau Rouge and then Radion, or whatever the bloody hell it's called. I think it's Radion. You know more than me, but Lewis does have DRS. Yeah, they're still battling these guys.
Sorry.
They're still battling, so Nick up the inside, so brilliant from them two, but Foxy Dude is going to hang it round. That is brilliant driving from Foxy Dude. He maintains that. Lewis has gone wide. Lewis is going to stick up the inside. Oh, contact again. Ooh, Lewis, you lucky boy. Tried to stick his nose where it probably wasn't wanted and loses out to Foxy Dude in the end. Sorry, Louis, what were you on about earlier about Nick and Praga?
I was just about to say, Nick went up the inside of Praga into the Lecombe chicane with the aid of DRS and managed to make the move, so he's up into 4th. He looks to have good pace, so he's going to be challenging more, no doubt, soon.
Yeah, Nick finding some form. He struggled a bit in France. It was a solid performance, but I don't think he was on the pace or the class of some others in the F2 category. But he definitely looks to be bringing the fire here at the Belgium Grand Prix. Definitely needs to start catching a bit faster than he is, though, if he wants to be in contention for a podium. Womack looks to be not struggling, but just not in tune with the front guys here at the Belgium Grand Prix. But you never know. CC Brain, like I said before, is a man that has little nigglets all running around in his mind, because that man is a bottle job.
You never know what this man will do next. He might get on the power a bit too early, light up the rears, spin it round. He might understeer into a wall, you never know. But he can have these moments of brilliance where he does have a good race. It's rare, but he does. And it's one of those good days today, I think, Lordy.
Yep. Just reading the chat. People unsure of what we're talking about, and I have to agree. I have no idea what I'm talking about today. Louis has completely frazzled my mind, and this race is just as stale as it can be. So, you know, when 12 drivers turn up to a league race and 10 of them, not even 10 of them, 9 of them are in contention for some points, it's just not brilliant. We will commentate the best we can, but obviously I'm normally doing F1 with Leon, but people have internet issues, and that needs to be sorted, I think, for next week.
Absolutely. Let's see, what have we got going on? Praga is actually managing to keep up with Nick, which is quite a surprise, although he has just understeered at Fania. I believe it's called Fania. Yeah, coming towards Bronchimon now, and the gaps are all opening up, the battles they're not flowing, but they're ebbing. They are well and truly ebbing, the battles. They're waning, not waxing. Although Lewis is catching Foxy Dude for another little bite at the cherry, so you never know. Let's have a little look.
I'm going to go on board with LR Nick, who's definitely closing the gap to Wommer, and Wommer's definitely closing the gap to CC. So that's the battle I'll stick with now for the time being. You're going to have a lovely broadcast view for a couple of laps while I, you know, mingle in the chat, because there's nothing to say at this moment. As Oogie Azim comments, we are all very fast racists.
Very interesting comment there.
Oh God. What
I'll
else
take you
has
through a
been
lap
said?
on board with TTG Jack actually. So we're coming through Bruxelles, plunging down towards Pouon, the race leader, the man who could throw in a championship challenge. He throws in the front end, he has supreme confidence in his abilities, and the rear end just sticks. How I would love to drive a car as planted as that Alfa Romeo Sauber. And then through Fania and into Campus. The brilliant line he's taking, and he's just extending this lead all of the time through the curve, Paul Frere, and onto the straights toward Blanchimont. Absolutely hammering that Ferrari engine. He's got it on quali mode. He's trying to pull away through Blanchimont. Nails it into the bus stop chicane. Brake just after the 100-meter board. Nail that apex. Nail the next one. Open up the corner. On the straight, on the power rally. A few undulations could unsettle the rear end. Across his line, and he's pulled out that gap a little bit more.
Yeah, as we see the gap starting to close in. Praga closing in on the back of LR Nick, maybe saving a bit of the ARS, a couple of laps to try and challenge, and also LR Nick keeping a fair good distance to the likes of Wommer, currently in P3. Obviously CC Brain not losing touch with these guys, which he should be, because he doesn't have a DRS train behind him, so he has got that leverage. So CC does need to get a move on if he wants a comfortable second place here. It's his for the taking. But in other news, TTG Jack has a 3.5 second gap, and it is just fantastic from him at the moment. I'm just going to go on board with Ollie Flavel and Will Murdoch, because they are getting very, very close, but they are teammates, so I don't believe that they will be swapping around anytime soon, because the soft tyres must be absolutely toast.
Yeah, I do agree. The soft tyres they'll be screaming out for help, to be honest. Screaming to those mechanics and the pit stop men to change me, get me off the car. But let's have a look. Where are the battles? We're seeing quite a big train now behind Wommer. Quite a big train indeed. The gap is kind of holding station to CC as they go through Campus and into the curve Paul Frere. Yeah, he's gathering a little train behind him, and Will Murdoch, his tyres, they're going to be coming into their operating window soon. The temperature, you know, it's going to be upping all the time. They're going to get into that range where they're just juicy and they're sticky, and they just want to work. And he's going to catch this train soon. Will Murdoch, he could be in with the shout for a pretty good result, and maybe even a podium if he gets his skates on, as Praga pulls into the pits.
Yeah, Praga, the first person to pit out of the front runners, so them soft compounds are dead in his opinion, and he will take the mediums to the end of the race. If he goes on hards, he's an absolute idiot and he's ruined his race. But anyway, regardless of that, Nick has finally closed the gap to Wommer, close enough that he probably could challenge at the top of Radion. Just going through the chat as well, when I was on board with the trees, Sophie says squirrel cam. So quite funny there, yeah. And very sensitive about Jenson Button. Button outscored Hamilton over 3 seasons. Yeah, over 3 seasons. But who won overall? Lewis Hamilton did, because 5 titles compared to 1.
Sergio Perez outscored Nico Hulkenberg over 3 seasons, and you know, obviously Hulkenberg. No, I'm joking. Hulkenberg's not the better driver.
Hulkenberg, clearly the better of the 2 drivers, has never finished on the podium, and every time he's been in a position has bottled it so hard it's actually embarrassing. That man, we love him to pieces.
Fans of that man, aren't we?
Oh yeah, you love Hulk, but
he's useless. He's useless.
The high pressure situations he just can't cope with. That man sees a podium position and thinks it's like a trip to the dentist and would rather not go.
Drops his fork, his spoon, his knife on the floor, gets a bit excited, rush of blood to the head, and then drops the steering wheel, drops the car into the barrier. Ooh, yeah. Brilliant.
Sophie says, be racist as much as you want, but no comments against redheads, because then things get serious. As Wommer peels off into the pit lane. So, no mentions of gingers. Apparently, racism is acceptable in some people's minds.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
As we're going to stay on board with Nick, because he will take the lead of the race. Everybody opting for the undercut. Nick feels like there's some life left in these soft tyres, and he's going to push the absolute hell out of this Toro Rosso to see if he can gain an advantage. I'm just going to see, pardon me, that is gross. I'm just going to see where people feel where people filter out, if I can get my words out, as Lewis is currently P3 with Will Murdoch in P2 on the medium tyres for the moment. Where did Praga feed out? Praga actually jumped Wommer. So Wommer, for whatever reason, has dropped immensely to CC Brain. There's a 5-second gap between Praga and CC, I believe. Yeah, and there's a 2.5-second gap between Wommer and Praga. So Wommer having to serve a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, maybe.
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand where these gaps have suddenly come from. We're in a situation where it looked like it was actually getting quite interesting, and then it just suddenly been blown apart again. I don't know how, but lots of big intervals. Now I'm getting this interval screen up, Lordy. The gap for the interval, and you know, we're doing in seconds rather than tenths here. It's quite distressing.
Yeah, the only person within touching distance, like you say, Louis, is Ollie Flavel, and that gap is getting wider and wider because he just hasn't got the pace around it. As Wommer, I believe it was a wing change, because I don't believe he got a penalty going into the pit lane. As Elonic peels off into the pit lane from P number 1. Where he will feed out is a mystery, but I believe he will be behind Wommer and Praga if they have done the undercut correctly. But Elonic could surprise us. He may have done an absolutely crucial in-lap to promote himself above these guys. If he can get ahead of these guys, that will be fantastic. But there's been no traffic. There's been no contest for positions. It's been pretty straightforward. Here we go though. Praga around the corner. Will he beat him out? It's going to be close. Here he comes, Elonic, and Praga's going to be neck and neck. So that's what we're going to go on board with. Look at this. Into Eau Rouge. It's going to be neck and neck. Elonic is going to concede the position, but he's going to get the slipstream up Eau Rouge. But he's got cold mediums. But it doesn't even matter. Look at this man. He's got the toe, he's got the slipstream, and he's got DRS. He's played it perfectly out the pit lane. Elonic, a fantastic in lap from that man. And look where he's positioned himself. P number 5 provisionally, and P number 3 when Will Murdoch and Lewis Pitts. Fantastic strategic call from the guys at Toro Rosso.
I do agree. To keep that man out for another lap, it's an incredible decision. It's, you know, it's testament to the man's skill and character and intelligence, Lordy. I do believe. It's amazing.
Yeah. I have to agree, Nick really wants this podium. He sees an opportunity and he's grasping it and thrusting himself straight into these positions, and he's definitely got the pace as well. It's not just strategic calls that are getting him in these positions, it's genuine pace. So Nick really stapling himself as an F2 upper echelons driver. Will he be able to catch CC Brain? I do believe he will, because that gap has come down 4 tenths already. This man is on fire.
Nick is flying. He is flying, and he's had 5 points on average in the last 2 races. So he's got some form. He's picking it up after a couple of disappointing races before that, and he's looking for a big point haul here. I tell you what, he's going to get a big one.
Yeah, it's a bit of nostalgia as people reminisce on the Matrix films. I do have to agree, I did love a bit of the Matrix. When I was very, very young, I watched them films. I think number 1 has to be the all-time greatest Matrix, in my opinion. But obviously people will have different opinions in the chat. We'll see what people say, because the Matrix is more interesting than the actual race at this point. As we see Wommer and Praga go head-to-head down the straight. Wommer has got the move done with DRS, so nothing to report really. Just a very bog-standard move. DRS, slipstream and ERS.
Yeah, it's a very simple one really. Not too much excitement coming from that. But let's see. Will Murdoch will be peeling into the pits in a few laps, and we'll see where he feeds out. As Wommer gets a 3-second time penalty, so he's had a bit of a tough day at the office today, as Wommer.
Yeah, well, he has struggled a bit. I think he did have wing damage. That's why it cost him a bit of time in the pit lane. But like you say, he's got the makings of a true champion. His performance at France was utterly outstanding, from a podium position maybe that he was scrapping for, to a guaranteed race win with a beautiful strategy call. You know, that's the mark of a true champion. And Wommer again is being very consistent. He's in the upper echelons of the points, and he's challenging for the likes of a podium. So this man is just doing everything right and can't put a foot wrong at the moment.
Absolutely.
A good quote from AMS that he has quoted from JP: "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened."
Absolutely.
I'm not smiling, I'm crying right now, because I want this to be over. I want this to have happened.
Exactly. Don't smile because it's over, cry because it happened, Lordy. That's what I say.
Yeah, I want this to be buried in the past. This will be one of PSGL's darkest moments in the history books, as Praga will he make a move on Will Murdoch? Here he goes!
The inside! He gets the move done!
And Stevens out! He's bowled it! Oh, dearie me! Not even in the points anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Yellow flags in sector 3.
Race win. My tips for the race win, going brilliantly, Lord.
Yeah, Oliver Fell in P9, and he's guaranteed points because there's only 10 drivers left, and Skeven is out. There's yellow flags in sector 1. Who's that? Who is that? Oh, nobody. It's just yellow flags for the sake of it. You know, Skeven crashed at sector 3, and all these drivers were in sector 2, so it shows the performance he's had. Luke Green also as well. Points guaranteed for Luke Green if he just kept it out of the wall. But no, another DNF from that man, Louis.
Absolutely, but you've got to focus on a battle of P2 here. It's not a net P2 they're battling for. TTG Jack is, of course, leading the race. But Lewis peels into the pits.
Lewis says bye-bye, ciao, and peels into the pit lane. He will filter out P8, I imagine, near Ollie Flavel. Not too sure. I think it'll be around there anyway. Will Murdoch continuing after a horrendous first stint really on the mediums. He needed to be a bit higher. I think, to actually challenge these guys, because the softs aren't that great around here. The medium is the race tyre and is the tyre you want to be on. And Lewis, yeah, like I said, has only just beat Samster out the pit lane, but we will go on board with Samster on the hards, pitted very, very early for a penalty. And oh, look at that, before Eau Rouge. Soft tyres for Lewis, and Samster's got DRS, so Lewis has absolutely bollocksed it.
Okay.
Behind a hard runner.
That's not very good for him, to say the least. That's a shame.
Yeah, drivers practicing their champagne spraying for FP.
Ooh.
Louis, do you know what I'm practicing? My airbag play, because I'll be in the wall again, knowing me.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it, Louis.
Louis, I'll try my best, but when you get shit car after shit car, week in and week out, what do you expect from an F4 reject?
I do agree. Who do I need to get on the phone to, Lordy, to sort this situation out?
Oh, I've been on the phone to the helpline for years about my car choices, and apparently there's going to be rotations. I know you're listening, AMS. Apparently there's going to be rotations, and apparently the Haas is worse than the McLaren round Belgium, Louis. What's your opinions on that?
I don't know, I haven't tested it, but I'm surprised that a car with a Ferrari engine is slower than a car with a Renault engine. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, the Renault and the McLaren are better than the Haas around here, according to some people. Whether the data's wrong or whether the game is wrong, I'm not too sure. But Samster is in a boat and has been dispatched by Lewis for P number 9.
Maybe the tyres weren't in the tyre window on the Haas. The tyre temperature window, of course, on the Haas is approximately 0.01 degrees Celsius. So you know, maybe they weren't inside that working window for the tyres. But Wommer, he's going to go up the inside into Les Combes. Gets the position, but he's ghosted for some reason, basically through LR Praga. So this is a good game. Love to see it. And Samster and Lewis are going side by side, and Lewis has got the move on Samster, but Lewis is missing the right hand end plate of this front wing. So what's happened there?
Well, some of these drivers, I just don't even know what to say at this point. They just race for the sake of it. I've tried everything to reason with these people. I've tried everything to commentate on these people, and it just doesn't seem to flourish. This league, it's just dead in the water. It's like a log floating down a stream. Like the stream's got no end, because it would just end up in the ocean. But it's just a log, just a shitty log.
Yeah. Oh dear.
It just is. But anyway, Wommer has dispatched Praga and is definitely using the ARS to try and escape the DRS train, because I know this track is infamous for just having DRS slipstream fests, as I like to call it, as Wommer sets the fastest lap of the race. So yeah, Wommer got some hidden pace in that car, paying tribute to Antoine Hubert with the pink helmet also, which I think is a nice touch. But to the people who wanted minute silence in the league races, what a interesting proposition for a man you never knew. As Skeevan leaves the session.
Indeed. What on earth has happened? 15 laps have passed. We've had a few overtakes. Samster re-overtakes Lewis.
Yeah, I just saw that. The man Samster has been on them hards for 13 laps. Lewis has been on a set of softs for 2. This man was challenging for the race win at France. Oh, he's hit the wall again.
Oh no.
It's just not going well at all. Poor old Lewis, he's damaged his wing somehow, and that man's race is finished. P10 for that man if he continues, but whether he will make it to the finish line is a different story. You may as well just pit and guarantee a points finish.
Absolutely.
Just to report as well, Will Murdoch's still... Oh no, I think he's just pitted now. So Will Murdoch has only just pitted. Will come out, I believe, you know, 8th. So I don't know what that strategy call was all about, but anyway, as we continue, and as CC Brain is being hunted by the pack of lions, also known as Elornik, Woma and Paraga.
Yeah. Ollie Farrell could be overtaking Will Murdoch come the Kennel Straight. He's quite close behind, but Foxy Dude as well, on the back of Pryor. Well, quite far back, but you never know.
Yeah, on board with the Red Bull duo, as Will Murdoch has the internet of McDonald's. Says, I don't think Ollie Flavelle will challenge because he is on the worst tyre and his teammate has just come out of the pit lane. So, Will Murdoch actually in a decent position. He's got LR, Foxy Dude and Praga in his sights. Praga all over the place, and Foxy Dude's actually going to challenge Praga going into the long hairpin right-hander down the hill and obviously into the corner with no name, or the corner that nobody knows the name of, which also links into turn number 10, which is this fast left-hander, and Praga is all over the place. He's lost an absolute bucket load to Woma, so there's definitely issues in the Scuderia.
Absolutely. Huge issues, Lordy.
Yeah, Praga, he must have damaged his wing, or he's had a bit of an off and there's dirt on his tyres, because that man, I'll try and see on the spectator cam, yeah, I think the front right end plate is absolutely destroyed. So Praga, yeah, in no man's land. Look at him, Louis. It's like a lamb in a field in a bear trap. It's just disgusting. It's helpless. There's nothing he can do. He may as well just let Foxy Dude go. Obviously he won't, because he's a racing driver and he will fight for every last point, place and position. But there's nothing he can really do, and you've got the likes of Will Murdoch on a fresh set of softs all over the back of Foxy Dude as well, trying to join in this battle. So I'm glad that people are closing up, because you know who else is closing up? Elornik and Woma. Oh, and Lewis is out. He's retired. He didn't even finish the race. It's absolutely rubbish. But here comes Woma. Who cares about them rubbish drivers? We want to see these. It's going to be 3 abreast going in to the top of the hill through Eau Rouge and Radion, and here we go. Is Woma going to make a double overtake? Yes, he is. Here comes Woma. Oh, there's contact. Oh, no, Woma's round. Oh, Woma's bottled it. Woma has bottled a podium place. That man never puts a foot wrong. But there's got to be D-Day, and D-Day has come very quickly for Woma as he retires from the race.
Yeah, that's incredible. And Will Murdoch is trying an Alex Albon around the outside of Bruxelles, but he can't quite. He's got the cutback going down into Pouon. Will Murdoch, will he go to the inside? He's gone to the inside of Pouon. This is ballsy. Is he going to make the move? Without contact, he can. He just kind of eases Praga off the track, but that's a brilliant move. That's a brilliant measured move from Alexander Albon in the Red Bull.
When the gates open, the floods shall follow, and that's what's happened as Will Murdoch picked up a 3-second time penalty, which will be crucial to his finishing position. But this man is all over the back of LR Foxy Dude for P4, and as Elornik and CC Brain are going side by side, Elornik's left this session. Elornik is out from a P number 2. Elornik is out of the Belgium Grand Prix. It's tragedy for Elornik. Will he be able to return? I'm not too sure, but with 41% AI, you're in no man's land, and that's it, as the Ferrari of Praga will pit and promote Samster to P number 8 as everybody mugs off Elornik. Oh my days.
This is quite an incredible race. You're going to have about 5 people finishing in control of their cars, Lordy. This is incredible, and Will Murdoch is about to enter the podium positions as he comes down barreling at 205 miles an hour, climbing all the time, 206, 207. He's overtaken Foxy Dude, moves back over to the racing line, takes the position into late on. And he's going to be challenging CC Brain for P2 before long.
Absolutely shocking from half of these drivers. You know, guaranteed points. 5 laps remaining of this race. Poor old Nick's disconnected, I believe, so he's out. I think he will get points because it was a disconnection, so you know he will finish with some points. I'm not too sure. I'll have to discuss with the stewards and the admins about that. But you know, Woma He committed to a double overtake. He wanted to be the superstar. He wanted to be Mika Hakkinen on Zonta and Schumacher, but he's not. He's, you know, Wommer. And Wommer couldn't produce what them men did that day. And it's cost him not just a points finish, but a podium and maybe even a second place. As this yellow flag's in Sector 2, so who's crashed?
Oh my god, Prague is round.
Oh no.
Dear, this is an absolute nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, and a Samster, the man who started second, pitted on lap 1, is going to finish 6th. And he's ran a set of hards all the way.
It's an incredibly experienced performance from the man. I'm in awe, to be honest. This is like Daniel Ricciardo just wrenching this car around this circuit. It's amazing. Amazing.
Can we just appreciate that this race will go down in the history books as one of the worst races I have ever had to spectate in my entire life. I don't like to keep playing it down, but it has been absolutely horrendous in every single aspect. But regardless, Will Murdoch is going to put on a show for us. CC Brain will not know that he's got penalties, but CC Brain normally picks up at least 1 during the race. But Will Murdoch should pull out 3 seconds on CC Brain if he has only got 3 seconds. He's on a fresh set of softs, and that man is flying.
Absolutely, and you never know. Maybe he'll get closer to P1 if P1 gets a couple of pens. You never know, but I doubt that'll happen. Just 3 laps to do it in. But that's it. That's the battling over. What a race! Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what that notification was. Was that Nick joining back, or there's a notification? I think. No, Nick's. I don't know. I thought I saw something. I might just be seeing things to try and make it interesting out there. So. I think that's your race, folks. Only unless anybody else makes a mistake. CC Brain, I don't think, has got anything left in the tank to challenge Will Murdoch on 3-lap-old softs. So we'll see what happens down this straight. But CC Brain looks to be struggling anyway because Foxy Dude is approaching. And he's not just struggling. That man is just not in the right frame of mind, I don't think. But it has been a solid drive for CC Brain. If he could hold off the likes of Foxy Dude for 3rd place, I think he'd be very impressed with himself.
Yeah, it's a better race today from CC. He's doing quite well, and I'm surprised the gap's not actually come out to Will too much. He might have a chance at us to hang in 2nd, possibly. You never know. You never know.
Just having a look for the F1 stream. I don't know if it's just my game playing or it is. But yeah, I think I will jump in the F1 stream after this to accompany Leon.
Absolutely, go for it. As we ride on board with CC Brain, hitting the apexes of the Fania chicane into campus and the curve, pull for air. As he hooks it up, looks to remain within 3 seconds, but it's a very difficult task remaining within 3 seconds of Will Murdoch, 93. Especially on tyres that are 7 laps old and the compound harder. 10 laps older, that is.
Yeah, sorry, Louis. I would try and
it's fine.
I would try and feed off you and try and offer some input.
That's good.
But I think what I'll do is to actually commemorate such a dominant drive and such a fantastic performance. I think TTG Jack, regardless of any battles that will happen, deserves the last 2 laps to just honour the absolute shift that he's put in this afternoon. He has been flawless in every aspect, and from pole position to the race win. I know there's a couple of laps left, so he could still bottle it, but he's got years and years of time to waste to get around the rest of this track. But it's been stellar from the Alfa Romeo driver.
It has indeed, and we're just right on board with him. As he goes down towards Pouon now, still as committed as ever. I mean, if I was one lap away from winning the Grand Prix, I would be taking it a bit easier, you know, with 9 seconds gap. But he just wants to dominate. It's a sign of a truly brilliant driver, trying to extend his lead. As he comes through campus now, the double right-hander into Paul Frere again, and hammers on the throttle. Trying to get back into this championship, maybe. Is it too late? I don't know how many rounds left, but there's still quite a few. I'd say 8 or so. And it's a big swing of points today as he hits the brake pedal hard into the bus stop. Nails that chicane. On the power, no hint of wheel spin. Just many horses as he plunges into turn 1. Sit up. I saw this.
Yep, as I guzzle a gallon of water down my neck because I've been speechless throughout the entire race. We will go on board with Foxy Doo just to see if he can mount a challenge on CC Brain because he looks very close. He's got no fuel and he's got no ERS. But CC Brain looks a sitting duck. Look, Louis!
Yeah.
Louis,
Yeah.
that man is in cold water.
He is. Freeze back in the slipstream. Is he going to send something ridiculous into the inside? No, he isn't. He's sensible. He may not have the pace today, but he is sensible. He's a clever man, CC Brain, and he's not going to blow it like that. He's going to take the points. Take what he can.
Yeah. If I was fighting for a podium, I'd definitely fight a bit harder than that. But it is fair racing from CC Brain, and he may be looking to have a bit of a bite at the cherry. Here we go. Yeah. CC Brain, come on.
He's got some overspeed here. He's got some big overspeed. Oh, he just needed to stay in the slipstream for a bit longer. He kind of pulled out a little bit. He was a bit half-hearted there, but actually that is fairly sensible because look at the man now. Oh, he doesn't want a corner cut though. He does not want to get a warning or a penalty at this late stage. He just wants to stay in the slipstream.
No way.
Down towards Bonchemont. Not get caught out by a late move. Not get squeezed to the inside. He gets hit. That is from Foxy Doo. That is a little bit dodgy. You don't want to be getting into this sort of territory. CC defends the inside. Foxy Doo goes to the outside. He goes for the late move. CC defends hard. Foxy Doo hits him off. What a dirty move that is. That is absolutely disgusting. But that'll without doubt go to the stewards, Lordy.
Yes, I just mesmerised really. I think Foxy Doo squoze CC to the inside. CC had nowhere to go, pushed him out wide at Blanchimont, and obviously CC maintained the inside line, which was probably the worst line to hold going into the bus stop, bearing in mind you've got priority for the second corner if you are on the outside. Foxy Doo hangs around the outside and basically rams him off the road. So I don't know whether it's fair racing, dirty racing, or stewards penalty awards, anything. I don't care. I'm glad it's over. Yeah, TCG Jack I think gets a round of applause for a fantastic performance. You know, I think it was an 11-second gap at the end. The Honduras flag, that's not the Honduras flag, that's the El Salvador flag, isn't it, or something like that along them lines. Geography was actually quite a strong subject for me, so I should know. I think it was El Salvador. And that man at the top step of the podium celebrates with a beaming smile from a dominant, boring performance, it must be said, but it's a dominant performance, a Sebastian Vettel-esque pole and a race win, or Lewis Hamilton-esque, or Michael Schumacher-esque, or anybody that was good enough to do something like that. As Luke Green leaves the session after sitting here for the last hour, contemplating why he didn't finish this race. And there you have it, folks. 12-car grid. Seven cars finished officially. I think Nick came back just at the end, so maybe 8. But the championship leader Wommer, I don't think will pick up any points for a rage quit on their 18th lap. But yeah, there's your top 3. Will Murdoch picked up 1 penalty, but was too quick for everybody else and blazed a trail. And that's it. That's Formula 2. I'm not going to do podium interviews because there's no need, and the fact that I've had to suffer through that is reason enough not to do podium interviews. So yeah, I've been Lordy Boy, and thank you very much to QPR Beast, even though it has been an awful affair. Thank you very much for joining me. Whether you do this again with myself or with Leon or with whoever, it remains to be seen, but let's hope that we never see anything like that ever again.